Hello, everyone. I wanted to try an experiment here. And this is some ground beef that we purchased as a side of beef. And um, this was ground to 80% fat content. And this is uh, from a rancher. And the, the steer that the steers that they raise are grass fed. Um, this was it has been in the freezer since February of 2023. So this is really incredible looking beef. We've enjoyed it very much. And what was also based on a video that we watched with Dr. Ken Berry about what to do with your beef, where we were buying the side, and we talked to the rancher. The other person that was buying the other half of the steer did not want the liver or the heart, and so the three-quarters of the liver is in the ground beef that we uh, have. We have several boxes of it. However, there's three-quarters of it. We did ask for 5 pounds set aside into 1 pound packages. So there's 15 pounds of liver, and the beef heart is in here. So that's to give us some extra nutritional value with the beef. So what is experimental about this is what I'd like to do is take some pork panko and an egg, sort of like what you might want to do for meatballs if you were going to make meatballs for spaghetti and meatballs. So I'm going to try that and just make uh, some burgers with this. All right, I've dropped one package in, and I'm going to put in about half of the second package. Um, my wife and I, Barbara, the professor, are definitely thinking that a quarter pound patty. These are 1 pound packages. Um, Two of them is probably not going to be enough because we try to do OMAD, one meal a day. Is some of these members marks fried pork rinds, and I like these because they're just pork skins fried uh, in their own skin and just added salt. Um, and what I do is I just put them in the blender, and when I take one of these containers, and you get probably about an inch at the bottom, this is about $6 or so for a 1 pound container of pork rinds. And I'll show you in a second here what we also use. You can find these at Walmart, and this is panko crumbs, which is essentially the same thing, and it comes in a 10.5 ounce container. And the ingredients are, where are the ingredients here? I know they're here someplace. Fried pork, skin, salt, and natural smoke flavor. So, uh, all in all, not that much different. With the natural smoke flavor, adds a little bit of processing to your food. Um, but but this costs the same amount as that. So if you don't mind throwing something in the blender and doing that, um, I would recommend doing. And you have a Sam's Club membership, then I would do this from Sam's Club. And these are members mark pasture raised eggs. They come in an 18 pack, as you can see. A definite bonus to these is you don't have to really check to see if you got any broken ones, because you can just flip the package over and look. They're supposed to be pasture raised, and pasture raised eggs are supposedly healthier for you because the chickens are getting what they would be accustomed and they're supposed to be eating. I actually sent in a uh, review of the eggs once with a uh, for the for these eggs, and because it says 100% vegetarian diet. Well, if they're actually pastured, how can they be guaranteed that they're getting a 100% vegetarian diet? They would be getting whatever the chicken happened to run into. But I think they've put a caveat in here: is fed no animal byproducts. So if they are fed anything, I guess they're getting fed vegetable products, and if whatever bugs and stuff that they're eating, so be it. So these are supposed to be healthier for you, and we're going to put a couple of those in there. All right, we've got our panko, and we've got our couple of eggs, and now it's time to get your hands dirty and mash that up with good old kneading. So this is what it looks like after that, and it's pretty soft. So I'm going to add some more of the panko because that I think one egg would have been plenty. I think that's going to be a lot better. I just sprinkled a little bit more panko on there, as you saw, and that's a nice consistency to make a good patty. So I'm going to make 4 patties. They'll be a little bit over a quarter of a pound a piece, and when I come back, you'll see them on the grill. I think that's hot enough at this point. Didn't sear quite as loudly as I would like. Guess that hickory is not as dry as I thought it was. What's good about tongs and a round grill, is you can manipulate the surface by grabbing the grill with the tongs and moving it. So if you have a hot area versus a low area, you can do that. And I would be doing this much better if I could hold on to the handle a little bit, and rather than my camera, but you get the idea. And so at once this is started to sear pretty well, what I like to do is take the burger and turn it 90 degrees to the grill surface, and that makes a nice little X pattern on the meat. And it also helps to keep it from falling apart. All right, and so those are flipped. You can't really see the X on there that well, maybe a little bit right here. And I did have a little bit of the beef stick to the grill on that one. So at this point, I will just let it stay and sear on and do another 90 degree in a moment. I turned those 90 degrees, and I'll just leave it another few seconds. When I was touching them, you can see they're still a little squishy in the middle, which means they're still rare. At some point here, really quick though, I do need to close those vents on both sides and put the cover on with the vent closed to shut down the heat, because decreasing the amount of oxygen available will shut that fire down to probably just about a couple hundred degrees in my experience. And just after that, we'll be adding some slices of provolone cheese. All right, all the vents are closed. It's cooking very nicely. I am going to take the burgers and put them out to the edge where it's the coolest. And put the cover on, which has its vent closed. And you want to be really careful with anything working around fire, because you want to make sure that there's no risk for fire around you. And also be really careful when you grab hold of things. I've actually had this handle be quite hot, even with the separation that there is there from the cover. Let that go for a little bit, and you can see that There's a lot of smoke being trapped in there, and that's because it's now smoldering rather than burning. And I know you can't appreciate the smell, but it's pretty impressive. I think these are just about to the point where if I let them cook any longer, they would be overdone. So I'm going to put those slices of provolone cheese on. I'm going to divvy these other two slices for the four burgers. Now cheeseburgers. All right, so you ready to see what this looks like? Be prepared. The smoke is going to be a little bit intense there for a second. It'll clear. Look how that browns that cheese right up. I'd say those are looking really good. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and share it. And I will make another quick episode of eating these burgers.